Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today we got a pretty wild rumor about an Overwatch-style Marvel game coming in the near future. This is supposedly going to be a 6v6 third-person hero shooter, and I think this sounds awesome. There's a lot of potential for a game like this, but I would definitely take this with a grain of salt, considering we don't have a lot of sources on this, although I have seen a few different reporters talking about this game. This is not the first bit of information that we have on this, so I wouldn't be surprised if this comes to be true, although it could still be canceled down the line. It could be adjusted to not be what we think it is. But let's jump into this article because I think it is pretty fascinating. First off, it's currently in pre-alpha, which is pretty far away ultimately. There's rumors that this will launch either in the next year or a little over a year. I couldn't see this dropping before fall of next year unless they've been really working on it for quite a while. But yeah, we heard about 2 years ago that NetEase and Marvel, they had previously signed a deal for Marvel games. So if they started working on this 2 years ago, if this has always been in the works, then that would be very fascinating because that would mean we have a couple years of development under the belt already for this one. So this is going to be a AAA multiplayer FPS set in a Marvel universe, although it says FPS, but rumors that it's going to be third person instead. Think something like Rogue Company rather than strictly Overwatch, which I like third person, but not everybody does, so keep that in mind. Gears of War, another third person that a lot of people like. And then this is a pretty wild time with Marvel as well, because obviously Marvel 1943 was just recently announced. We do know a Black Panther game's on the way. We have a Wolverine game, some potential for a Venom game, another Spider-Man game. Lots of different Marvel projects in the works. So anyway, I'm talking about an announcement possibly coming this year, going to arrive likely on PC and mobile, potentially on consoles as well. Hopefully it does come to consoles. I think it would really slap on PlayStation or Xbox. And then it's called Marvel Rivals, as I mentioned there. Now, confirming the post is somewhat accurate. Here's the real details. They have screenshots, which they will not share. So again, grain of salt there. But that features a litany of familiar and lesser known Marvel characters, third person shooter, not first person, and then the name Marvel Rivals is just a placeholder, so we have to wait and see how that's going to work out overall. Yeah, so NetEase actually signed the deal in 2019, so not 2 years ago, but 4 years ago. So if they've been working on it for that long, it would make a lot of sense. So far, NetEase and Marvel have Marvel Duel. This is going to be mobile only, and the likelihood is that Rivals will come to PC at a minimum and potentially consoles. Now, as far as what characters, this is where the list gets kind of crazy. Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, you would expect. Luna Snow, which is kind of a rare one. I would be surprised by. There are X-Men involved here with Magic and Magneto. We've got Storm, Penny Parker, and a bunch of others, Star-Lord, Namor, Thor. List is subject to change. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense, but they could do a lot of interesting things, whether they have tank characters like Hulk, I would imagine would be a tank character. You could have a support character like Scarlet Witch, although there's not really any healers in Marvel in the same vein you might have in Overwatch, so that would be very curious how they handle this. But ultimately, I'm pretty excited about this overall because I think the potential for this is off the charts. Will it actually ever come out? That's the question. Obviously, we're not going to get too hyped up, seeing as we don't even have a teaser, a trailer, or any other information. Will be skins, obviously. Steampunk Iron Man sounds like a pretty lit skin. So, yeah, overall, the modes they talk about, first off, Escort, that's a pretty standard one for an Overwatch-style game. And then they also are talking about King of the Hill, which again would make sense with a game of this style. Also be maps. Reveal one that's Odin's Vault. Another one is not New York, but could be a island from Marvel Comics. Not the island you're thinking of. Again, a lot of teases here, a lot of vague information, but nothing too crazy. Environmental destruction is a big part of the game, and destroying maps with each character's ability will feature heavily. Okay, I mean, that could be cool. Side note, I wonder how this would work with characters whose abilities are less combative, like Mantis. That could be a healer or support character, to be honest. When will you see it? Like I mentioned earlier, it's in the pre-alpha stage, so they still have to go through alpha, beta, release candidate, and then gold, so that's still quite a ways away. And yeah, it looks like they expect it to be available Q3 of next year, although they've been told it'll launch within the next year, but I just don't believe that. Anyway, I know this is an interesting article. I don't know how much I fully buy into this. I've again seen other people commenting and reporting on this as well. It does seem like it could be in the works, but it's still far too early to know anything about this. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys. Is this the type of game that would get you excited? Would you play a 6v6 Marvel hero shooter? I'd love to hear from you guys, because if that is the case, I definitely would check it out at a bare minimum. Especially, I would imagine it would be free to play to start with Battle Pass skins and all that kind of standard stuff you get from hero shooters these days. They did say the art style would be more similar to Valorant, which I think looks really cool, so I think that would be awesome as well. I just don't know how they would handle it, how they would match up abilities and all that kind of stuff. Very curious about this game, although, again, we have to see a lot more information. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously, shows you want to see more content. I'll definitely be covering this game as we learn more about it. If we learn more about it, stay tuned for all that. My name is Jopa. Have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all later.